Hello everybody, welcome to this video, the closed park, where we're gonna talk all about what happened in the Turkish GP. We already did our video with all the analysis, all the comments about the Grand Prix, but now we're gonna see what's next, what happened and what everybody's talking in the paddock after the Turkish GP. So stay with us because we are ready to go. Welcome everybody, and thanks a lot for watching this video where we are talking all what happened on the Grand Prix of Turkey, which was a very good Grand Prix, one of the best. In my opinion, it was the best Grand Prix so far in the season. We have 3 left, so let's see what happens in Bahrain, double headed in Bahrain, and then we want to finish in Abu Dhabi. But let's start with our video. So I would like to start with this video talking about the Lance Stroll, because Lance Stroll, he made this huge highlight on his career, making the pole position for Racing Point. That was his first pole position in his Formula 1 career, and well, what a way to do it. He was like on fire in Q3, and he was so good, so he assured the first place, the first position for the Sunday's Grand Prix. Unfortunately, and as we talked in the last video, there were so many things going against Lance Stroll. The tires, they were not responding. There were so many things in the car that he was just losing positions. And at the middle, I think on Monday, there was a tweet from the team from Racing Point, and they were making this comment, or just explaining people that they found that there was some damage at the bottom of the front wing of the car. So that's why the car was not responding as it was, because at the beginning of the race, wow, he was doing so good. He was so good. He was just controlling the race. That was his race. And then, unfortunately, all these things happen, and we know the end, the result of that. I just want to remind you, also to let you know that was a huge highlight, a huge thing for the Canadian motorsports, because the last Canadian that made to make a pole position was Jacques Villeneuve, and that was in 1997. So 23 years ago, that was the last time a Canadian got the first place, the pole position for a race. So I think it was a huge and a good highlight for Lance Stroll. And as we know, unfortunately, things didn't work out well for him. But I think there's more to look for it for Lance Stroll and the Racing Point on the last 3 races. And of course, whatever is going to happen next year with Aston Martin, Lance Stroll, Sebastian Vettel, and if Lance Stroll keeps showing us what we saw this last weekend, I think Aston Martin, they're going to have a lot of good chances to be on the top for next year. So, well, let's go to our next subject, our next highlight of this weekend. And now we want to talk a little bit about Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz, he did a great race. He was not on the eye. He was not doing he was not showing a lot. Even on TV, we hardly saw Carlos Sainz action. But listen to this. Carlos Sainz, he started on 13th position, so he was like kind of behind, and with these conditions of the track, I thought it was gonna be a nightmare for McLaren. But Carlos Sainz, like, he was just going slowly, step by step, until he got on the top position. So Carlos Sainz, he finished his race in 5th position. So he was 5th, and listen to this. At the end of in that area, on the last 3 corners of the track, where we had that incident with Charles Leclerc going straight ahead, Checo Perez getting back the position, Vettel behind Leclerc. So Carlos Sainz, it was literally right behind Sebastian Vettel. He was literally on the mirrors of Vettel, and I think if there was another 1 or 2 laps, I think it wouldn't be high chances for Carlos Sainz to be on the podium. So good for Carlos Sainz, because wow, what a good race that he did with all the conditions with the McLarens. And the McLarens at the end of the race, they were having like this very good pace, so they were, I think, a little faster than the Ferraris, the Racing Points, the Mercedes, the Red Bulls. They were doing at the second part of the race, I think they were doing so good. And the example is that Lando Norris, he got the fastest lap, so that was very good news for McLaren, and I think it's a very good news for both sides. Ferrari had a very good car this weekend, and I think it's a promising, it's excited to see what is going to happen next year when we have Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz in Ferrari. And at the other hand, the McLarens with Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo, I think it's gonna be very excited. So I think it's good news for the sport that Ferrari shows that on this weekend, and also McLaren, that they were doing so good with Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris. So good thumbs up for Carlos Sainz. What a great race, and congratulations to the team. So let's keep going, guys, with our video here in Close Park. And before we continue, once again, let me thank you for watching this video of Close Park. We're just wrapping up what happened on the last GP, the Turkish GP, and well, let's keep going. So now, this last GP, it was the last GP of these 5 tracks that they have to add in the Formula 1 calendar for all the reasons that we know, the COVID-19. They have to redo the calendar. We start this season not till July, and there was a lot of doubts if this season was going to be okay or not. But luckily for us, the Formula 1 fans, we had a calendar for this 2020 season, and they add 5 tracks that we haven't seen. 2 of them never before, and 3 of them that we haven't seen in a while. So the 2 new ones, it was Mugello and it was Portimao, and it was very excited. It was very good to see a new track, and it was excited to see how the teams they were gonna react with no information, with no data at all about a track. Just practice with the simulator and see what you can get. I think that was very good, very excited. We were all kind of like wanted to know what will happen in these tracks. The other 3 that they were in Formula 1 in the past, we have Nürburgring, we have Imola, and we have Turkey. So these 3, it was very good to see this track. Nürburgring with all the history around it, with the green hell, all the surrounds of the track. It was very good to see it. What about Imola? Imola was good. Unfortunately, the race, it wasn't that excited, but I think it was good to see everything around Imola with all the history that this track has for all the incidents in 1994. And the last one in Turkey, again, with all the new track, the new everything. So it was very excited to see. So for next year, there is on the 4th race of the season, there is a hole that they have to fill, and they're talking about it, that if it's gonna be Turkey, if it's gonna be Portimao, Nürburgring, another Grand Prix in Asia. We don't know yet, but it will be nice to see one of these tracks in that 4th race for the 2021 Formula 1 season. So what do you think? What was your favorite track of these 5 new ones? I would like to see in the comments what you think, which one was the most excited, which one you like the most. So let's keep going. Well, let's keep going, guys, now with Checo Perez. What happened with Checo Perez? Well, as we all know, he finished in P2 on the last Grand Prix, and I think that P2 of Checo Perez made things a little awkward on the team. And when I mean on the team, I mean on the high ends of the team, because I think they were expecting that Lance Stroll had a very better result than he had. And Checo Perez, as we talked before, he did a great race, an amazing performance from Checo Perez. So I think the team that they were not expecting that, and as we know since the announcement that Checo Perez won't continue with the team for the next season, their relationship is broken, and I think that situation made things more awkward and they were not that happy with the result. P2 for Checo, P9 for Lance Stroll. And there's another example of this. At the end of the race, the team decides to go together outside the pit so they can get a nice memory picture with Checo Perez, with the sign saying Perez P2 of the race. And there was 3 people that they were missing on the picture, and that to me shows what's happening. On the picture we were missing Lawrence Stroll, we were missing Lance Stroll, and we were missing Otmar. So that tells me that that is very broken, that would make things very awkward, that they were, in a way, they were not happy with the result. As a reminder, that's the best result for the team since the team started as a Force India. That's the best result ever, and Checo Perez did it with an amazing performance this weekend. So let's see what happens. There's only 3 races left, and then Checo Perez will be out of racing points, and we'll see. I think Checo Perez is doing everything on his hands to secure the 3rd place for the Constructors Championship. So we'll see. I think they're gonna do it if Checo Perez keep showing us these performances, and also Lance Stroll. So let's see what happens. So now, to finish our video this week, let's talk about a very important subject on the 2020 season, which is the Drivers' Championship. I know Hamilton is the champion already, Valtteri Bottas is gonna finish 2nd, and Max Verstappen is gonna finish 3rd. But what about that 4th place? Well, there's 3 drivers that they are fighting shoulder to shoulder to secure the 4th place on the Drivers' Championship. Checo Perez, Charles Leclerc, and Daniel Ricciardo. Checo Perez has 100 points, Charles Leclerc 97, and Daniel Ricciardo has 96 points. So only 4 points between these 3 drivers to see who's gonna get that 4th place on the Drivers' Championship. I think it's very important for them because we know there is this amazing team with these monsters, these cars, Hamilton, Bottas, that they are gonna be 1-2 as we were seeing, and we have Verstappen, which is a super ultra driver. He's so good, so we know that they will be the 1, 2, 3. But I think it's very important for these other drivers to secure that 4th place, right? And especially for Checo Perez, because he doesn't have a seat for next year. He still doesn't know what is gonna happen for him. I think it's good. He's won this 4th place so bad. What about Charles Leclerc with this Ferrari that at the beginning of the season they were not getting anything, and now slowly they are getting there, and now Charles Leclerc is fighting for 4th position on the championship, and Daniel Ricciardo with the Renault, that I think is the best car on the middle field right now with Daniel Ricciardo. He has 2 podiums, so I think it's gonna be very interesting for them to see who is gonna get that 4th position on the Drivers' Championship. Remember, we only had 3 more races, and I think we are ready to see more action. This is not over yet, even though we have a champion already. I think more and more action is coming on the next 3 races. So let's see. What do you think? For you, who deserves? For you, who you think is the best driver? Who is gonna get that 4th position on the Drivers' Championship? Let us know, comment. That's what we want to hear, and we want to create this good chat with all of you guys. Well, thanks a lot everybody for watching this closed park in Wide Open Sports F1. We just wrap a little bit what happened this last weekend on the Turkish Grand Prix, and as a reminder everybody, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, leave your comments, let us know what do you think about this Grand Prix? What are you expecting for the next Grand Prix? Who's gonna be the fourth place on the Drivers' Championship, etc., etc. And we will see you next week on another video here with your friend Israel Gutierrez. So have an excellent day, and we will see you next time.